Hi guys, Claire here for those of you who don't know me, and those that do, welcome to Brave. If you could play number 16, Brave Tech House Strong Flow, and we're all going to be on the same music together. And today we're focusing on glutes and backbends. They're both quite related, so that's why I decided today I would focus on glutes. So we're going to be focusing most on the gluteus maximus, which is connecting the sacrum to the femur. So it basically pulls your femur into your hip socket. So super important when you're doing any movement like this, yeah? This is your glutes. So let's start on the floor. On your back, if you want to work on some early hip openers, you can have your feet together and knees apart, or just laying on your back is fine as well. If you interlace your hands so just the tips of your fingers are touching, and then place them on the middle of your chest. So right in the center. So you can feel all of your rib cage, and maybe your pinky fingers go to just the base of your belly, so at the top of your belly, your diaphragm. Exhale completely. And then as you inhale, see if those fingers start to part as your ribs expand and your diaphragm expands. And as you exhale and the diaphragm and ribs contract, maybe your fingers come slightly more together. Using that sensation of the rise and fall of the belly and the ribs. See if you can find that connection to breath. Ensuring that deep breath into belly, into diaphragm, into chest and ribs. And letting anything you don't need relax. So the shoulders relax down. The jaw is soft. Allowing yourself to take a few breaths and really arrive in the space. Arrive in your body. Last exhale. And then bending your knees, bringing your heels in towards your glutes. Tickle the backs of your heels with your fingers. And we'll start with some early bridges for glute activation. Take a breath in. And exhale, lift the hips up, not the full way, maybe about halfway. Take your index finger, I'd like you to poke your glutes. So I'd like you to feel if they're working. Now tilt your tailbone towards the front of the mat, squeeze your glutes together even more and poke them again. Now keep everything the same but release your glutes, so let them relax and see how that feels. See how your lower back compensates and your quads. This is a really important lesson. Now squeeze the glutes again, tilt the tailbone again, feel the wrapping of the glutes around the hips to protect the lower back. Push the heels into the floor and then pull your heels towards your body to turn on hamstrings and glutes. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and then slowly lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back to floor. We'll take a few faster pulses towards the ceiling to make love to the ceiling. You ready? So we're going to take a breath in and exhale. We push the hips up to almost full extension, but not the whole way. Squeeze the glutes, pull the heels into you. Remember all these cues. Exhale, slowly lower down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Inhale. Exhale to rise up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. We've got 3 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise up. Really squeeze the glute at the top. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, down. We have 1 more. Rise to the top. Let's 5 little pulses. 5, 4. Just squeezing the glutes towards, so the hips rise towards the roof. 2, 1. Exhale all the way down. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And give yourself a little massage, so moving the knees from side to side. This will allow your glutes to relax. Maybe a few little rocks and rolls if that feels okay for your back. If that doesn't feel nice, just meeting us in a tabletop in whatever way feels okay. Maybe you get enough momentum to roll through to your tabletop. We'll have a few little cat-cows to start. So inhale, drop belly, gaze up. Exhale, push the floor away, gaze toward the belly button. Inhale, tilt tailbone up, gaze slightly up. Exhale, push the floor away, round through back. And now just taking a few little movements that feel good, so closing your eyes. Some little rolls might feel nice. Coming back to tabletop, we'll start with some more activation of the glutes. When you're in tabletop, if your tailbone's tilted up, I want you to just take attention to tilt the tailbone and squeeze the glutes together. We're not over tucking the tailbone, but just a slight tilt, so you're not dumping into back. Right foot comes up so that your quad is parallel to the floor. Flex the toes towards your shin. Check you're not dumping into that back, so tilt tailbone and do little pulses up. So this is really activating your glute muscle and getting us prepared for the rest of the session. Exhale, take the knee down, other side. Left foot up, flex the toe. Make sure that your quad's parallel to the floor, tilt tailbone and pulse up. Neutral neck, so just gaze towards the floor is fine. Really start to pay attention what you can feel working here. Can you feel that glute muscle doing the pulling? Exhale down. Hands move a little further forward. We'll exhale back into a downward facing dog, straightening the legs and pedaling them out to stretch through those hamstrings. So just straightening through one leg and then the other. Maybe nodding the head yes and shaking the head no to release the no. Spreading the fingers wide and almost imagining you have two jam jars underneath your hands. So cupping around the jam jars and almost trying to open the jam jars to the sides of the room. So it's a sensation of wrapping the shoulders around the armpits and having activation in the fingers and the hands. Look between the hands, step one foot between the hands and then the other. Exhale to fall forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to get the hands on the floor. Bend even more into the knees as you slowly roll up. Hands come to heart center and take a breath. So today we'll be talking about smart asses and dumb asses. So what is a smart ass? A smart ass is an activation in any sort of back bend or movement of the leg in this direction. A dumb ass is deactivation of the glutes, which then will make you overcompensate in things like the quads and the hamstrings, which makes you really tight, and it also can lead to lower back injury. Not cool. So that's a dumb ass. You don't want to be a dumb ass, you want to be a smart ass, which is what we're going to learn today. So whole class, I want you to concentrate on activating those glutes. Hands to heart, take a breath in, everyone's probably laughing. Inhale, hands up, and exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back into high plank. If high plank is tough for you, come down onto your knees, otherwise stay as you are. So, how is your glutes? Are they working? Are you being a smart ass? Squeeze them together and see if you can notice the difference when the glute is activated. Then release the glute, activate. When you activate the glutes, you also notice that your abs will also start to engage. If you do deactivate the glute, you get a slight curve in the spine and also the core deactivates. So squeeze together, tilt tailbone, hold, knees to floor, chest forward, coming down in chaturanga. Make sure those elbows brush the sides of the body. Inhale into baby cobra. Maybe lift the hands and lift the feet if you want to challenge yourself here. Squeeze the glutes, hands to floor. Exhale into downward facing dog. walking out the feet. Really feeling through the hamstrings and allowing them to release through pedaling out the legs. Look between the hands, option to step or jump between the hands. In your jump throughs, another important muscle is the glutes. So squeeze the booty to control the jump. Inhale halfway, exhale to fold. Inhale, bend through the knees, lift up. Hands come up overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands down. Option to step or jump. Remember, if you're jumping, you're squeezing the glutes as well. To control when you land, they're nice and activated. Option to lower knees or come down in full chaturanga. Keep the booty squeezed. Inhale to up dog. So, if your knees are on the floor in your up dog, it's really easy to just disengage the glutes here and fall into your lower back and also roll into shoulders. I want you to push into the hands, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the glutes a lot. So much so that even the thighs will eventually start to rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look towards the hands, bend the knees, exhale, jump forward. Inhale to flat back, exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly rise up, stacking the vertebrae. Maybe hands come up overhead, inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands down. Move through your flow. So step or back. Maybe the knees lower, maybe they don't. Come through your chaturanga. Inhale to come up. And exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg rises, three-legged dog. Keep the hips even, shoulders even. Now from here, flex a toe. And we're going to do little pulses to activate the glute just towards the ceiling. So use the glute muscle to pull the leg up, little pulses. Let's do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to left elbow, hold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee, right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, sweep between the hands, stop here. Get nice and grounded through your legs. Slowly rise into crescent lunge. So again, let's talk about the booty. We're going to bend the back knee and we're going to come down in the back knee towards the floor until you feel your right glute activate. Push your right heel into the floor and then pull it towards you. So if you're not feeling that right glute, come a little lower till you feel it. Inhale to rise up. We've got 10 pulses just like that. Exhale to lower. Come down low. Inhale. When you come up, I want you to push into the heel. So exhale down, push into the heel as you come up to feel that glute. If you're using your quad, I want you to move until you feel that glute activate. Are you counting, Russell? I'm counting on you. Let's do another 5. Up for 1. 2. I just make it up. That's the secret. 3. 2 and 1. Oh, let's stop at the top here. So bring the hands down, take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to step forward and bring the knee in towards the chest. Exhale back, lower. So push, when we come up, I want you to push into that right heel and use the right glute. Inhale up, control, take it slow, not momentum. Exhale back and lower. We have 1 more. Inhale up. Oh my God, I'm already feeling it. I hope you are too. And exhale back. Lovely. Exhale into warrior 2. Warrior 2. So this is a little break for the glutes. It should be still activated, but it won't be as intense. Come deep into the front knee. Gaze towards the front little finger and take a breather. Now straighten the legs, hands to the center. Turn both your feet in. Coming into goddess pose, the toes come out and the knees face the same way as the toes as we lower down. So this is a hip opener. So the knees are opening towards both ends of the mat. You're tilting your tailbone and lifting through chest, hands to heart. Push through the heels and you'll feel the activation of the glutes here as well. A little challenge, come up into one toe, lower, and then the other. You know what's next, right? You're going to come up into both toes. Maybe a little closer will help you. Whew, now I'm falling over. And lower as much as you can and squeeze. For 3, for 2, 1. Lower the legs, we're not done yet. Slowly walk the feet in so they're just wider than hips. We're going into some squats. So hands can come to center. Lower down into your squat quite low. I don't want your knees to go over your toes. At the bottom, squeeze your glutes. Inhale to rise up. Tuck the hips under, squeeze the glutes at the top. You'll be good at this. Anyone who goes to the gym and does squats, exhale down, inhale up. So as you exhale, you're pushing the hips forward, squeezing the booty. Exhale down, inhale up. I'm doing it the wrong way. Inhale down, exhale up. One more. Inhale, exhale. All right. Now we're going to do little pulses for 5, halfway. Now when you're in your pulses, try to get the work in the glutes and not all in the quads. See if you can do that by pushing through the heels and having that activation by thinking. And then inhale up. I think we've got a few extra there. Standing to the top of your mat. Take a breath in, inhale. And exhale to fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands to floor, step or jump back into high plank. Move through your flow, high to low plank. Inhale to come up. And exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. Just taking a moment here again to feel into the backs of the legs. So this will stretch out all of the posterior chain. So you can really play here, coming up onto the tippy toes, and then exhale as you push the heels into the floor. It's okay if your knees are a little bent, if you're tight in the hamstrings. Just have a play wherever your body allows today. Let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg rises. Flex the toe towards the shin. Got it. We've got little pulses. So see if this side for me, I notice my glute is not as strong. See if you can observe the difference. So my right side is stronger than my left. So I'm going to keep pulsing here, trying as hard as I can to squeeze at the top of that extension. And exhale down, bringing knee to nose. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Hold for a second. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Hold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Coming into low lunge. Getting nice and sturdy into the feet. Elongate through the crown of the head. When you feel confident that you're nice and sturdy, rise up. All right, you ready for this side, guys? So we're going to bend that knee and come down into the lunge. It's going to be easier for you, that those who go to the gym. This is kind of like gym movements rather than yoga. As we inhale to come up, squeeze the glutes at the top, and exhale to come down. Push through the heel on the left. We're going to use the left glute to rise up. Yeah? Exhale down, inhale down, exhale up. Let's do another 5, 4. So push into that left heel as much as you can. 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, come up halfway, hands down, take a breath in. We're going to step forward with control, using that left glute, lifting up and towards the chest. Exhale back. Lower the knee. Inhale up. I'm getting my breath wrong today. Exhale back. Inhale up. Back. We got one more. Rise. And back. All right. Meet me in warrior 2. Have a little breather. Maybe a little shimmy of the legs if you're feeling like there's a bit of lactic acid but burning up in those quads. Gaze to the front middle finger. Relax the shoulders down. Take a breath. Inhale, hands to center. Now, coming into goddess pose, turn the feet towards the front or the side of the mat, and then out to the sides. So your knees should always face the same direction as your toes. Coming down into the hips. Tilt the tailbone, get your torso over the center of your hips and your body. Squeeze the glutes. Now from here, maybe rise up onto one toe, then the other. And if you're feeling strong, maybe bring your feet a little closer together for the next one. Coming up onto the tippy toes and lowering down. Maybe making some different hand mudras or hand positions. if that feels okay. And exhale, lower those heels. Slowly staying in a squat, moving your hips a little closer. I'm going to turn around so you can see me. I'll go this way. We're going to come down into a deep squat. The first 5 are deep. Push through the heels, drive through the heels to come up. Hips come under, glute squeeze. Coming down. Inhale. Exhale, rise up. Inhale to come down as low as you can. Push through the heels. Inhale, come up. 3. Lower down. Squeeze the glutes as you rise. Exhale. We got 1 more. Lower as low as you can. Inhale up. Squeeze the glutes in. And now we pulse. Let's do 5 or until I feel the burn. You're going to stay with me. So squeeze the glutes. Don't just keep it all in the quads. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Slowly bring the feet together, hands to heart. Take a breath. Inhale, hands up overhead. And exhale to fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Option to step or to jump back. Now, yoga is great, but sometimes we need some extra use, which is what I'm doing a lot of and squat. So moving through your flow now, activate the glutes. They're really switched on. Come down into low plank. Inhale up. And exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise up into crescent lunge. No more pulses, I promise. And from here, we're going to warrior 3, which is great for the glute on the left. So when we come up, you can have aeroplane is here, or warrior 3 is a little bit more work with the hands straight. So option to keep the hands at the chest. Using your left glute to lift your left leg parallel to the floor. Hold it here. For 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, slowly lower. Keep that leg straight as you come back to standing. We're going to do a few little swings. And exhale to come back into your warrior 3. Hands to heart to protect lower back. Inhale, slowly lower, feeling those glutes working here for stabilization. 1 more, coming back to your warrior 3 variation. Exhale, hands to floor, standing leg splits. Still the booty. Left leg, bring that leg towards the side as you fold forward over the right leg. Hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Bend the knee, bring the foot onto the floor, slowly roll up. Tree pose. Same side. So doing the left, bringing the left foot into the side of the body and hands towards the heart. See here if you can also activate the glutes to hold you here. Sometimes it throws you off because you realize you normally don't activate them at all. Finding that stillness. Now there's an option here for those who want to take it to bring your feet into half lotus. So bringing it up onto the inside of the hip. And maybe if the knee feels okay, you can start to straighten down. If that feels all right, you can bring your hands to heart center. It's actually easier than normal tree if you're open in the hips. This is where it gets more challenging. Your next option is to fold forward gently, bending into the standing leg. Please just stay in the option that feels at your edge. This can be quite intense for the knee, so please just stay up if this is not feeling good for you today. Those of you who want to take toe stand and it's in your practice, you can bend into that standing leg and come down into a squat. If you're here, then you start playing with bringing your hands to your heart. So it's quite a challenge. Please just take it if you've been practicing for a while. Otherwise, stay in tree or in your fold forward. Coming back into a fold forward, hands onto the floor to take the weight as you straighten the leg and come out the same way you went in. And exhale down. Oh yeah, definitely feeling some burn. So let's go to the other side. Inhale, hands up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down. Option to step or to jump back. Try to control the landing with the glutes. Come through your flow of choice. And on the exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Get grounded through the hands and the feet, then gently rise up. Crescent lunge. Hands to heart center. We're going into our warrior 3 variation. So this time the right glute is lifting that leg, so the hips are parallel to the floor. Hands to heart, or as a challenge, hands forward. This is going to be more pressure for the back. You're going to hold here for 3 breaths. Keep activating that right glute and lifting up, but not so much so that you start to open the hip to the side of the room. And now from here, we're going to slowly come forward into our standing and exhale back. Using that right glute to pull up and the left glute for stabilization. Inhale, come back. Exhale to rise. One more. Inhale, gently swing back with control. You guys are doing awesome. And exhale back. Hands to floor, standing leg splits. So bringing your forehead down towards your shin, using your right glute to squeeze and rise that right leg up with strength. Definitely this side for me is much easier with my glute strength. And also my hamstring on the left is more open. So have a play with what feels okay for you. Gently coming down, folding forward, releasing through the glutes and hamstrings. Slowly rolling up. 3 on the right side. So your options, if the tree up here is too much, you can actually just come onto your calf, or even onto your ankle, just onto the floor. You've always got options if this is too much. And hands just come to heart. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze through the glutes. See if you get some extra lift and activation. Finding that focal point, that drishti, and finding some stillness after all this movement. Maybe if you want to take the next option, finding your half lotus on the right. Now, if you're in your half lotus, the more that your knee can gently be guided to down, the more open you'll get through the hips. If there's any pain in the knee, please do not do this. Hands to heart. And gently start to bend through the left knee. Maybe the hands start to come down and tickle the floor. You can come into a forward fold. This is option 1. Option 2, if you've been doing yoga with me for a while, you can bend into that left foot and come onto the tippy toe of the left foot. Once you're in your toe stand, you can have an option to bring the hands to the heart and find a place that isn't moving, that you can focus. Just a few breaths. And then hands to floor. We're going to take the weight into the hands to help us with that standing leg to straighten. Slowly come up with control. And exhale, bringing the feet down, have a little shimmy. Good holding, guys. Inhale, hands to sky. Big smiles because it's Saturday, and exhale to fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands to floor. Step or jump back into your high plank. Hover forward and down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, we meet in our home base, downward facing dog. Next one is a little bit of a challenge. We're coming into plank for a minute hold. So if you know that your wrists are funny or you have some problems with your lower back, I'd advise that you bring your knees onto the floor. So I'll put my stopwatch on. So this plank is a little bit different, like angry cat plank. So coming into your plank, squeeze your glutes, bring your chest more over your hands, then protract through back. So this is preparing you for things like handstand, anything with shoulder strength. So pushing against the floor, spreading the fingers wide, and just gaze between the hands. If you find that the glutes start to rise, bring them down. Switch on the core. Squeeze the glutes. You're almost halfway. If you feel any pain in your hands or your shoulders or your wrists, just bring your knees onto the floor. Keep protracting. Get that angry cat. Watch the glutes aren't creeping up. That's like disengagement of your core. So make sure you hold it low. But again, if you're sinking down, you want to bring it up so you're like a plank. You've got another 10. Doing great. Keep contracting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees and come down onto your backs.
When I'm talking all the time upside down, my nose is like, whoa. So we're going into dish for a minute. What is dish? So dish is when you're on the floor, your lower back is into the ground, and we're going to lift up. So our feet are up and our head and shoulders are up. If your neck starts to hurt, just place your hands behind your head, okay? But the trick is your lower back is always on the floor. If it isn't, and you're bowing through the back, it means your core's not strong enough, and I'd like you to come out as soon as that starts to happen. All right, I'm going to go for a minute. So come up. So lift the feet up, squeeze them together, push the lower back into the floor, hands up with palms facing up. The more you can get your shoulders off the floor, the more your abs are going to work. If your neck starts to hurt, hands just come behind the head. How are we doing? If you've done 20 seconds, you got a little, I'm like a bit of a beast this week, aren't I? Beasting you guys. But it's super important. I've been talking to some members about disengagement of glutes and core, so I think it's really important in our yoga practice to have a strong core. I'm going to put my hands behind my head because I'm starting to feel my neck, so that's fine. This is where it starts to get sticky. Stay with it. If your back starts to bow, just come out, okay? It means that your core is giving up and your back is compensating. We've got 7 left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, definitely felt that. Taking a breath and relaxing into the floor. Turning over onto your belly, coming into an up dog. This is going to stretch out the core. So there is a method to my madness, I promise. So the reason why I've been activating your booty and your core so much is because what is coming next is backbends. Super important to have strong core and glutes. So gently, we'll come to the tops of our mats. I'll stop that timer. And I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. We're just walking out the legs here. Taking a breath. First, before our back bends, you will bring your knees in between your hands. We'll come into some fold forwards. So we're working with the wide leg fold forward today. I actually have a slight injury in my hamstring on the right, so I'm not going to be going so deep today, but I'll be giving you all my tips to do so. So when we're in our fold forward, your hip bones need to be facing in the right direction to fold forward. So how you can do that is pull up your glutes out of the way of your hip bones to tilt your pelvis towards this direction. Another little tip is you can get your hand, find the top of your quad, and move it out of the way of the iliac crest, or the top of the hip bone, so that it can come forward, it can tilt forward. You can do that on both sides. That's just moving the muscle so that your pelvis can tilt. From here, you can start to bring your hands on the floor wherever they land. I haven't got a lot of flexibility today because I'm feeling pretty tight pull through one side, so I'm just going to take it easy here. This is where you can just find your breath and start to release forward if that feels good for you. And if it doesn't feel so good, just observe that and honor that. If there's an injury or pain, please listen to that. And seeing if you can release things that you don't need. So I notice that my toes have a lot of tension and they're activating. So I'm going to release my toes and wiggle them a little bit. Notice that my shoulders are really tight and rigid, so I'm going to just release my shoulders and my neck. Just moving my neck from side to side and releasing the jaw. Try to find that softness in the places that you do not need to have tension. Let the head and neck be soft. And maybe you find through the softness you can fold a little more. What I love so much about yoga is that it teaches us so much about ourselves off the mat as well. And see if there's tension and holding on that you don't need in this pose that is actually preventing you from releasing. Maybe you're trying a little too hard. Sometimes just in life, we just need to let go a little. Seeing if you can inhale to lengthen through spine and exhale to fold a little more. Just observe where you are now compared to where you were at the start. We'll be coming into side bends, so we'll move first into the right. So bringing the right hand on the inside of the right leg, and the left arm comes up and over. So this might feel quite nice through the side body. If you're very bendy, you may be able to even touch the toes on the right side. And if you are, maybe the hand can come down and allow you to come into more of a twist by bringing the right hand onto the side of the body. If this is a lot for you, just stay where you are. I sometimes you can bring your right hand onto the side of your face to give your neck something to relax into if you're not getting all the way down. Now that top arm, everything else stays the same. The top arm comes up and over towards the left to feel this neck release. So letting the head be really heavy towards the right and releasing through that neck. You're holding onto the jaw, just create space between the teeth. For me, these neck tractions are so great because they hold a lot of tension in the neck and the upper back and shoulders. If you're not feeling anything, I invite you to bring your right hand to right cheek and relax your head even more. Come up, keep that right hand on right cheek and slowly use it to rise up. So keeping the head and neck relaxed, and use the hand to come back to center. Let's go to the left. So the left hand goes into the inside of the left side of the leg. Right hand comes up and over. Maybe for some of you, you might be up here, and that's absolutely fine. Just let the neck and head release. Some of you may be a little more flexible today, and you might be able to reach over and grab your toe to come into more of a side bend, and bringing the left hand onto the side of the right hip. Traction open towards the top of the roof. If that's not you today and you're here, just releasing. Sometimes if you can lower your elbow to the floor, it can give you something to feel a little bit more supported, and let the left ear fall towards the left shoulder. Closing the eyes and just breathing. The top hand, everything else stays the same except the top right hand comes up and over and points towards the right side of the floor. This will help release through the whole side of the neck. If you're not feeling it, roll that right shoulder up towards the roof a little more and relax even more into your neck. So placing the left hand under your left cheek sometimes can help people who need to feel more supported before they can release their head. Close your eyes and feel into that space you're creating through your neck. Finding that ujjayi breath, that deep belly breath. Left hand comes to left side of the face. Use that hand to actually help yourself up so that we're not creating any more tension in the neck. Gently bring your hands to the backs of your knees to bring your knees in together and come into a downward facing dog. Pedaling out the legs. Coming into a high plank, moving forward, squeezing those glutes. We're not here for too long, I promise. Coming forward and down to the floor, into low plank. Now coming into locust pose. So we're doing some variations of back bends to show the activation of glutes. I'll start with the left leg so you can see me. So with locust, we're going to just do one leg at a time. So we're going to squeeze the left glute. I'm going to rise the left leg up, pushing that right foot into the floor and making sure that both your hip bones are pushed into the floor as well. Activating that left glute, take your index finger and just give it a poke. See if it's working. And let it fall and release. Then poke it again so you know what a disengaged glute feels like. And then raise it up, give it a poke. Hopefully it feels a bit different. If not, squeeze it even more. Exhale down. Take a breath in. Exhale up. Squeeze and poke. And inhale down. Let's do one more. Exhale up. Inhale down. Other side. So the right one. We're going to exhale to rise. So squeeze that right glute. I'm feeling my hamstring on this side, so it means it's compensating for my glute. So I'm going to squeeze my glute even more. Poke it with my index to just see what that feels like. Inhale to lower down. Release the glute. Give it a little poke to feel the soft muscle. Exhale to rise up. Use that glute. Now notice the difference. I notice this side, it's not as activating. So I'm going to have to really push my hips into the floor and activate that glute even more. Inhale to lower. Let's do two more. Exhale, rise. Squeeze the glute again. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. So maybe you notice one side is actually disengaged. And then inhale to lower. Let's come into our locust with the glutes. Palms facing down. Neck is just released, gazing towards the floor. Inhale, we rise up. So we lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. We squeeze the glutes. This is your locust. Now, the more you squeeze the glutes, the better. So keep squeezing for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower down, left cheek to the floor, looking towards the right. Bend the knees, so bring your heels in towards your glutes and then gently rock them from side to side to release the lower back. Coming into our bow pose. Very similar, we'll do one leg at a time. So starting with the left, bend the knee, flex the toe. Normally we pull ourselves up with our hands. We're going to use just our glutes this time. So we're going to push our hips into the floor and lift that left foot up. So just again, you can poke your glute to see if it's working. Squeeze it more, lift it a little higher. Keep the hip bones pushed into the floor. Inhale to release. Exhale, lift up. Squeeze as much as you can. Inhale to lower. Got 2 more. Squeeze in, exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 1 more. Really feel that glute. Inhale down. Let's do the other side. Straighten both legs. Right leg goes up this time. Exhale, rise up. Inhale to lower. Exhale up. Inhale, lower. Got 3 more. Exhale up. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale down. So you know what's coming next. We're going to come into bow but squeeze our glutes. So grabbing at the ankles on the outside, flex your feet, squeeze the booty, and use the booty strength to lift your legs. So rather than just pulling yourself up with your arms, we're going to use the glutes. So what normally happens here, people pull themselves up with their arms and their legs, and their lower back gets damaged because they're not using their glutes. I want you to use strength through the glutes to lift the legs up, not pulling. Feel the difference in your back. And exhale, slowly come down, right cheek to floor. And just have a little relax, bend the knees and windscreen wipe the legs. So we've taken the first half of the class for lots of activation through glutes and also through core to prepare us for a couple of poses we're about to do now. Inhale into your upward facing dog. We're going to come into camel pose and then into reclined hero. 2 very deep back bends. Exhale, slowly bring your knees in towards your hands. And we're going to fold the mat over at least once. If your mat's quite thin, fold over twice. Bring your knees onto your mat and toes towards the floor. This is like a higher version of your camel. If you have a tweaky back, I recommend you do camel on one side like this, and then you swap and do the other, because we have two versions of camel. Each one's a little deeper. So please look after yourselves. I know most of you are okay. Are you okay for camel? You're going to give it a crack? Let's see how you get a crack. I love your attitude. All right. So what are we going to do? What's the first thing we're going to do? Yes. Squeeze the booty. So we're going to squeeze the booty, tilt the tailbone down, squeeze a lot. Don't over tilt so that the glutes don't activate, but just enough to activate glutes. Core is engaged. Thumbs come into the sacrum, fingers wrap around the outside of the hips, elbows back, squeeze the glutes so much, and then gently tilt back. We're not going to go back yet, just chin to chest. Feel into that back bend. Gently come up, inhale. The next one's going to be deeper. We're going to put our hands back onto our heels, otherwise stay in option 1. So squeeze the glutes, thumbs into sacrum, elbows back, open the chest, come back, squeeze the glutes a lot. Maybe the hands come back onto the heels. If that feels okay, maybe the head comes back, maybe not. But do not let those glutes disengage. Keep squeezing them. Hold for one more breath. Come out whenever you feel you need. To come out, place one hand on the lower back and then the other to support as you slowly come up. Coming down now and rolling out the mat. How did your camel go? Did it feel okay? Yeah, good. If it feels good, it means your glutes are working. That's fantastic. So reclined hero. If you do have a tweaky back, I'd like you to do one at a time, but I'll show you what it is first. So you're going to bring your knees together, but feet out on the sides of the hips. You're going to get the calves and move them to the outside of your quads. So there's space for your glutes to sit down between your feet. So that's when you know you're in and if your knees are hurting, it's a good inclination to say don't do full reclined hero. If your knees hurt, take one leg out and just do one side. We'll have two. We're going to stay in reclined hero for 4 breaths, and then I'll say to move, and then you can change if you're in your half reclined hero to do the other side. So if your knees are happy, I would just do one side. Yeah, Ross is like, don't tell me what to do. I'm a man. Yeah. So you can place your hands on the tops of your feet and just slowly open your chest and see how that feels. This is a really strong opener through your quads and your back. So if that feels okay, you can start to come down onto your elbows. Keep your chin towards your chest. Now, if that feels okay, maybe you can start to straighten your arms and come down into the full expression and grabbing the elbows behind you. If you're in the full expression and your back is screaming at you and your quads, please just come out whenever you feel you need. I'm going to show you how to come out, and then I'm going to come back into it for a couple of breaths, just for those who want to exit early. So the hands come onto the feet. As you bend the elbows first, look towards the belly and slowly walk yourself up, okay? If anyone's in their half reclined hero, please come into the other side. Those of you in your full version, you can stay here for a couple more breaths. If you're feeling it a lot in your lower back, you can actually lift your glutes a little bit and tuck your tailbone to make that back bend not so deep. Coming out all together, bringing the hands on the backs of the feet, bending the elbows, looking towards your belly. Slowly walk your hands back to push yourself up. Really nice. Moving your feet both to the left, and then your feet onto the floor, hands up as we slow and lower down. So we're going to activate our core here because when we're doing a lot of back bends, our abs can open. So we're going to activate to suck everything back in. So squeeze the core, tilt the tailbone, slowly lower down. Try to control it as much as you can. Tilt more. See if you can get it so the feet don't come off. Mine are coming off. They come all the way down. Bend the knees, bring them in towards the body, shins parallel to the floor. Pat the knees just over the hips, so not in towards that, in towards the chest. Make sure lower back is on the floor. and we're going to do a little bit of core work and back bends together. So exhale, lower both your knees over towards the left to keep your core engaged. Inhale back up. Exhale both to the other side. Push that lower back into the floor when you're into center. Inhale back up. Push your lower back into the floor. Exhale both knees towards the left. Squeeze the core in. Inhale back up. Other side. So we're just reactivate that core and releasing through back. Inhale up. And now coming into a supine twist. So bringing your right knee in towards your chest, interlacing your fingers around your shin and pulling up your knee nice and tight. Exhale the knee over the top of the body to release into lower back. If you're really bendy and you want a little bit more, you can straighten that top leg and your hand can interlace a foot. I touch the side of the foot to straighten it a little bit more through the hamstring. Gently releasing that knee, bring it in towards the chest. Straighten both legs. And let's do the other side. So left into chest, interlace our shin, pull it nice and tight in towards the chest so that lower back pushes into the floor. Bring it over the top of the body towards the right. If both shoulders are on the floor and you feel you need a little bit more, hand can interlace around the side of the left foot and straighten the leg over the top of the body to deepen the stretch. Gently coming out, bringing that knee in towards the chest. Straightening both the legs. Rolling onto your belly for our final opener, which is broken wing. So bringing one hand out to the side. You want your shoulder and elbow in one line and hand flat onto the floor. The left knee then comes up and over. So it's a shoulder opening here and a twist. So the left foot, the top of the foot, if it feels okay to be flat on the floor, that's a good position. If it feels painful, you can come up onto the tip of the toe to release the back bend a little. Really feeling the stretch of the shoulder and the twist through the spine. Close any eyes. Taking a few breaths here. Coming back to center. Moving mindfully out of this pose. And then setting up on the other side. So making sure that your elbow's in line with your shoulder, left cheek on the floor and right foot comes up and over. If it feels okay, maybe the ball of the foot's on the floor. For me on this side it doesn't feel so nice, so I'm just going to come onto the tip of my toe here. And straightening the leg is also an option if that feels good. Just feeling into your body what feels best. Should be a nice releasing sensation in the shoulder, but there should not be any pain. Just be mindful if there is pain to come out. Gently exhale, coming back onto your belly. And we'll roll back onto our backs for a final pose of your choice. A nice one might be happy baby, so grabbing the outsides of the feet and bringing them in, the knees in towards the armpits. You pull your feet down with your hands and push your feet up towards the ceiling. This will push your lower back into the floor and help realign the spine. And then if you're feeling ready and your back feels happy, you can come into your shavasana. So if your lower back still feels a little tweaky, you have the option of some extra supine twists. But hopefully at this point, after our releases, you feel comfortable to come into your shavasana. Now allowing your body to be absolutely soft. And with every exhale, imagine yourself releasing even more tension from the body. If you wish to stay as long, you're very welcome. Once you'd like to exit the car, sit up. And then start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe making some small movements around the head, gently rocking from side to side. Maybe taking a big breath in, and as you exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest and giving yourself a big hug. Maybe there's a gentle rock in sacrum that's a little massage your lower back after all of the work that it's done for you today. When you're feeling ready, rolling onto your favorite side and using your bottom arm as a pillow. Having a little smile to yourself, really admiring the space you've created. Gently helping yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And keeping the eyes closed. Placing the hands on the knees, arms facing down or up, whatever feels better today. Taking a breath. to feel into your body and find one thing that you're grateful for today. And breathe into that space of gratefulness. Bring your hands to your heart. And then bowing down first to yourself, your practice, and then the others online and everywhere else for their beautiful energy, because without their energy, the class would not be the same. So thank you so much for a lovely session. I hope that you learned a little bit about glutes and their role in backbends and why they're so important, and how it's so easy to disengage the glutes when we're doing yoga, which is why I did some extra courses in squats and lunges. So I hope you enjoyed that. And have a happy Saturday, guys.